Today on UK Thrills, I will be doing a bit of coaster theory. What if Six Flags purchased Wild Adventures? Wild Adventures is an amusement park located in southern Georgia in the United States of America. The park is currently operated by Hershon Family Entertainment. However, in a way they seem to neglect the park, as they certainly don't make as much effort with new additions and theming as they do with their other two parks, Silver Dollar City and Dollywood. For me, Wild Adventures already seems to have quite a Six Flags-like feel, therefore in my opinion making it a prime contender for the sort of park Six Flags would be looking to acquire. With that said, let's get into the video and discuss some theoretical ideas about what might happen if Six Flags bought Wild Adventures. First of all, let's talk about what Six Flags would name the park. Personally, I believe that they would go down the simple route, Six Flags Wild Adventures. Alternatively, they could simply keep the name exactly as it is, in the same way as Frontier City or Great Escape. However, I think they'd want to put their name to the project in order to try and attract more people who have visited previous Six Flags parks and enjoyed the experience. In terms of how much Six Flags would want to invest in the park, I believe that they would add some new decent additions, including a few coasters. However, they wouldn't focus too much on new rides, as I think they would want to keep this a mid to low tier Six Flags park. Think Six Flags St Louis kind of size, as the park is only 3.5 hours away from the much more prominent Six Flags over Georgia. Wild Adventures is also home to lots of animal enclosures, as it's a zoo as well as an amusement park. Six Flags has shown that they can work with animals in parks such as Discovery Kingdom and Great Adventure, so I think that they would continue to put a lot of effort into the animals, maybe even more so than the rides they'd be looking to add, which I'll be getting into a little bit later. Now let's look at what changes Six Flags would make around the park, including the already existing rides and attractions. Firstly, Twisted Typhoon, the park's Vekoma SLC. I think that Six Flags would rename the ride to Riddler's Revenge, as the coaster already has a green colour scheme on the track. As we know, Six Flags likes to name many attractions and areas of the park to the DC superheroes characters, and I believe that they'd want to implement the same thing at Six Flags Wild Adventures. Looking now at Six Flags' other major IP, Looney Tunes, I'd say that they would be inclined to rename the park's Wild Mouse coaster, Go Bananas, to something possibly related to Speedy Gonzales. This would fit in with a Looney Tunes themed area, and I'll get to that a bit later. If they went down this route, I believe that they would need to add in some theming here and there to make it tie in with the Speedy Gonzales theme. This would obviously cost money, however Six Flags have shown that they can do theming in the past, so why not make good use of that skill at Six Flags Wild Adventures? Like I already stated, Wild Adventures already seems to have quite a Six Flags type of vibe to it, so I honestly think the rides such as Boomerang, Cheetah and many of the other flat rides could stay practically as they are. I very much doubt that Six Flags would really feel the need to add any extra theming unless they decided to go down the route of an IP, so I believe that much of the park would stay largely the same as it is already, while still fitting in with what Six Flags likes to do with their properties. The Looney Tunes franchise has become a big part of the Six Flags brand name. The majority of Six Flags parks have specific areas fully dedicated to Looney Tunes, and I believe that Six Flags would choose to do the same with Six Flags Wild Adventures. I think that the area of the park most likely to receive a Looney Tunes makeover would be the kids area, located at the front of the park just as you enter. This section of the park would be renamed to Bugs Bunny National Park, and the rides within it would be altered to fit the Looney Tunes style. Outpost Express would be renamed to Roadrunner Express, Swamp Thing would become a Tweety Bird themed attraction, and like I stated earlier, Go Bananas would be changed to suit a Speedy Gonzales theme. The other kids rides in the area would also be changed accordingly to suit the new style, and guests would now have Bugs Bunny National Park greeting them upon arrival. Heading over to the other side of the lake, the area next to Twisted Typhoon would become Gotham City. Sidewinder would become Harley Quinn Spinsanity, Rattler could be changed to suit a Joker theme, and Blazer Blastoff a Batman theme. In order to fully achieve the DC feel, the area would definitely need to be spruced up to include multiple themed facades, costumed characters, and even a bit more theming to suit each individual ride. This would be a big task, however the IP aspect of the area would help to draw in guests and ensure it was worth the effort. In terms of the water park, Six Flags wouldn't really need to change much. I'd assume they'd rename it to Hurricane Harbour and slightly alter the names of each attraction to fit in with the rest of their parks. However, overall there's not too much work to be done here. Now I shall be moving on to talk about what future additions Six Flags would be looking to invest in the future. At present, Wild Adventures doesn't have a single dark ride attraction. It's for this reason that I could see one of Six Flags' first investments into the park being a Justice League Battle for Metropolis dark ride, which would be located within the newly rethemed Gotham City area. This would help to round out the variety of attractions at Six Flags Wild Adventures, as well as adding a much needed dark ride experience to the park. Looking now at future roller coaster investments, we have a few options. Firstly, the possibility of an RMC conversion of Cheetah, the park's CCI wooden coaster. I've personally heard differing opinions about Cheetah's ride experience, however the general consensus seems to be that it's a bit shaky but nothing too bad, and that it still delivers a really fun wooden coaster experience. So for that reason, I don't think that Six Flags would rush into an RMC conversion. I'm not saying that it wouldn't happen, however I think that for at least 5 or so more years, Cheetah will be kept just as it is. I think that one of the most likely options for a new coaster would be an S&S free spin. Six Flags have shown time and time again how much they like investing in this kind of ride, and I believe that it would be a great fit for Six Flags Wild Adventures. It would be like no other ride in the park and could be marketed as Georgia's only 4D coaster experience. In terms of where this new coaster would be located, there are a few possible options, including a piece of land, now shown on screen, that was previously partly taken up by Viking Voyage, the park's now removed E&F Miler coaster. Alternative coaster options could involve an RMC Raptor, which would be unique to Georgia and add an elite thrill coaster to the park. However, if Six Flags chose to RMC Cheetah, this option would become less likely to take place, due to the similarities between RMC's products. Another possibility could be a launch coaster from either Premier or S&S. Either one of these options would be a great new ride for the park, and their first launch coaster. Again, there's a few locations around the park where such a coaster could be positioned, and I think there's a likely option would be an area of land located just next to Twisted Typhoon, now Riddler's Revenge. If needed, Six Flags could potentially remove Island Falls, the park's shoot-the-chute ride, to free up more space. However, depending on the size of the coaster, this may not be necessary. Other possible new rides could include a Mat Racer water slide, a few new thrilling flats including maybe a Zamperla Endeavour or a Super Air Race. Such rides could fit well into the DC themed area and help to solidify the park as a destination for the general public and coaster enthusiasts alike. Finally, let's talk about what would happen to the zoo. Like I stated earlier in the video, Six Flags have proven in parks such as Great Adventure and Discovery Kingdom that they can work with animals, and I see no reason why they would want to cease operation of the zoo at Six Flags Wild Adventures. Currently the zoo has a wide variety of animals, including elephants, giraffes, zebra, rhino, monkey, lions, tigers and many more other species, so Six Flags wouldn't need to focus too much on adding new exhibits, and instead keeping their attention on maintaining and keeping the current animals happy and healthy. Perhaps they could add a few more experiences, such as maybe a small safari tour, on top of the wide array of feeding shows and talks that already take place at the park. And that brings us to the end of What If Six Flags bought Wild Adventures. I hope that you have enjoyed the speculation aspect, and make sure to comment down below your own thoughts and ideas about this possibility. Thank you so much for watching this video, like and subscribe for more theme parks based content, and I'll see you all next time.